Hello, welcome on Friday, September the 4th. I think this is week 25, 2 o'clock in the Eastern Time Zone, and here I am, astonishingly good. Happy to see you. Nice to see you nice. I'm this week doing something a little different. I've got one of Sonia Choquette's decks out. I thought we could see what she has to say to us. It's the deck Ask Your Guides. And now that I'm not out and about visiting stores and doing all the public stuff, I've got a big stack of card decks that aren't getting used. So I thought this would be the perfect time to bring some out, or bring one out today. There is no good reason why I shouldn't be using them, beyond the fact that I really do love my deck and I'm very excited to use it. But today, evidently, I wanted to change. Today, also, evidently, I wanted to throw cards on the floor. That's interesting. Ah, this one went off on its own direction. Okay, that's rather lovely. We'll declare this to be the community card. This is the back of the card, and the card that flew has that image on the front of it. So obviously we're dealing with something unified. It reads devotion and nature spirits. And the way I read with these cards is to take the word at the top as being something that we're working with, that an energy that's going on in our lives. And at the bottom there's an indication of the specific place that we can look for energy to help us to deal with it. So nature spirits and working with devotion. This is a lovely time of year. We're coming up to an equinox. There's a huge change in the natural world at this time of year where I am, and I think even in the southern hemisphere now you're going into spring, right? So that's again a really massive change with what's going on in nature. Very very profound sort of a time, and looking to the nature spirits, to the devas in the plants, to the um, animal totems, or however you want to what language you use for connecting with the spirits of creatures that breathe. Um, as we find a place of devotion to this, the sanctity of life, to our commitment to the natural world and our place in it. And that just strikes me as a really nice. We have sun either rising or setting, and we have stars and reflected stars, and we have trees and water and reflection, and taking a time for reflection. The reflection, I don't know if you can see the details, but the reflection on the water is much, much greater than the orb in the sky. Because when we reflect and when we examine and when we pull apart the energies that we're dealing with, there's so much more than initially meets the eye. So, devoting ourselves to a study of nature, a presence in nature, a meditating in nature, if you have time for that, I think that's rather a cool card to have. All right. Well, where are we? That took all of 4 minutes, and I'm still alone. That's so unusual. If you're watching the video in YouTube, thank you very much. Please, if you ever can, come and hello. I know this name, and I think that I don't know for sure. Oh, excuse my phone. Um, I don't know. I've forgotten how to pronounce it. I know who you're connected with, who brought you here. Hello, Kathleen. Good to see you. Okay, so I want to say No, I don't want to say anything. I'm going to go with first comment, and I'm going to draw a card for you. And this is when you ask your guides what they want you to know, the specific guides who are around you want you to know. Oh, interesting. Okay, so vocabulary is different with everybody. This is your guardian angel, Michael, and if that's vocabulary you use, then that's just perfectly fine. If it's not, then this is about the Michael represents protection. So whatever name you give to the protective energy, for some people it's a really specific. Marlouse, thank you, Marlouse. I knew it, except I forgot. Um, yeah, sometimes we have, you know, a great grandmother who is our sense of who it is that protects us. Some people it's the Archangel Michael. For some people it's something else. So the vocabulary isn't as important as knowing that protective energy is around you, and that it is suggesting that one of your places of work at the moment is self-esteem. So that's your third chakra, is where your self-image sits. And if you're in a place where there's some fear about your identity, about how you're expressing yourself, you are protected. You are able to, you can step forward with some confidence and know that you and your spirit and your your individuality is so important to the world. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. The universe needed you, and needed you to be exactly as you are. So when you feel shy, or when you play small, or when you think maybe I shouldn't say anything, maybe I won't be taken seriously, remember that other people's reactions belong to them, and your reactions belong to you. You are protected. You can stay safe within your own bubble. And you can speak out and say your truth, because there are people who need to hear it. So I hope that makes sense to you. All right, Marlouse, I'm going to read for Kathleen, and then Sally Ann, hello, welcome. And Mariam, it's Sally Ann, let me know that you would like a card. Mariam will be after Kathleen. All righty. Kathleen, it's so lovely that you're here. I'm so glad you have some time on a Friday. It was very good. I'm working with Sonia Choquette's deck today, hearing what specific guides have to say to us. So this is Kathleen's card, and it is purpose. And this is so cool. So the specific guide who is around you right now is your master teacher, and master meaning expert in this case. You're a spirit that has enormous expertise, that has experience, that has knowledge of where you are headed, a deep wisdom that is guiding you on your purpose. You can see that really clear arrow that moving you forward, and you are on your path and on your way, and meeting your intentions and doing all of the things that you are in the world to do at this time. And the spirit of the expertise is with you and supporting you. I love that it's really purple, because that's the color of the third eye. That's the intuition. I know that you're really good at following. It's not that you wake up inspired to go in a different direction one day, but you do. There's a piece of you that is just drawn to the work that you do, and you follow it, and you do it, and you make such a good difference in the world. Marlouse, I'm delighted to hear that. That makes total sense. That's splendid. That always makes me happy when it happens. Okay, so Mariam has asked for a card. And then, hey, Marcel. Oh, lovely to see you. Yes, indeed. Sally Ann, if you're still here, I want you to ask me specifically, give me permission to draw a card for you. Um, okay, that has jumped out. I was shuffling for Mariam. This card wants to come to you. Oh, how lovely. All right, so we're green, which is very heart space and emotion centered. It's the card for imagination. And you're welcome, Kathleen. Imagination and your inner child speaking to you. I I don't know what conditions you're living in right now, whether you have a chance to connect with your creativity and to allow the imagination of that we associate with childhood, that just run away and think anything you want, and just imagine expressing yourself either on a piece of paper with paint or on a typewriter or on a no, whatever. um, just imagining how it would be if you put your heart and your feelings and your wants and your desires outside of your body in a different form, just imagining what that could be like. And uh, and and connecting with the unfilteredness of it, getting away from all the things you've been taught about how things should be done, and how you've got to fit into a category and do only one thing at a time or whatever. Connecting with the unbridled joy, the naivete of expressing yourself however you want. I cannot imagine what it is that you would imagine for yourself. So this card is sort of giving you permission to step outside of the constraints that you're living with at the moment. I think that's the best way to describe that. Okay, I have seen that was Mariam. I have read Marluce. Marcel is next. So cool. Lovely to see you here. All right. So using I don't know how much of my blab people see when they come in, where I've typed all the stuff. I'm using Sonia Choquette's deck today. So it is a very, I'm feeling it being a very different energy, which is logical. This is for Marcel. Okay, this is for Marcel. Oh, nice. Again, vocabulary, not always what I would choose first, but it all rose by any other name. This is the leadership card, and as you are dealing with leadership, knowing that you are supported and led and held by divine energy. She calls it Holy Spirit, which is a perfectly good name for whatever divine energy it is, that however you label it, that is drawing you forward, is carrying you towards that role that you have, where other people are able to follow you, where you can lead into a different way of being and understanding and connecting with the wisdom that's available to all of us. That I don't know if you're able to do it during these times when we're mostly locked in and not out in the community and doing the work the way we used to. However you're doing it, or however, if you're not doing it, there is a role for you to do it and to lead in that field. And I think as you find a way that you can do the work, there are others who are going to learn from you. You're going to set an example that other people are able to follow, and in that way, even if they're not in the room following you like ducklings, they are going to follow in your footsteps, follow in your techniques and your points of access, you are going to teach. If I was going to put a number on this, it would be a number 7, right? That whole teacher, learning as you teach and teaching as you learn kind of an energy. Again, we've got lots of third eye color, along with some really nice, I don't know if you can see that dove in the background. This is lovely artwork. It's that overarching guiding, and it has, okay, I was trying to make that into a word, but it isn't a word. It's an olive branch in its beak. So that representation of peace, and that peace that comes to all of us when we're connected with divine energy that is around us and leading us as we lead whoever comes behind. Nice card, Marcel. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay, is anybody else here? My feed looks as though it has stopped. And I know my phone was doing funny things, so I hope that my connection is good. All right. So, is anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? Hello, Marcel. Okay. Oh, how lovely. All right. Yes, I have no doubt that you will. That's okay. I'm sorry that you've been in a dark night. I'm delighted that you're coming out of it, and absolutely the amount of light that is showing in this card is really, there is a real movement from the bottom of the ladder in this dark shady area, moving up, moving forward, and as in a position of leadership, moving into the light and also leading others to the light. And I think that's what you do. I really, really do. Awesome card. Good. Delighted to hear that. Very, very nice. Okay. Is there anybody else? So you know what'll happen if you're all just sitting there watching me. I'll pull out another deck. Then you'll be sorry. Okay. Anybody there who hasn't spoken up? Anybody? Oh, now, Sally Ann, you came in. You didn't ask for a card. I will draw for you if you give me permission to. And Regina. Yes, please. Yes, Regina. I do know what yes, please. It's about. Good to see you. That's nice. All right. Okay. I am happy to see you. I've forgotten where it is that you are in the world, but I'm still happy to see you. You're here now, and that's all that really matters. For Regina. Okay. All right. So we have the intuition card, the inner child, and we have, I'm loving the color, is very much solar plexus, seat of the self chakra, that place, and it's showing within the figure again. It's echoing the outside, and all surrounded in this lovely pink heart chakra emotional stuff. It's about connecting to your intuition, allowing for the fact that you know stuff, and getting to that place where your inner child is unrestrained, unconstrained, is not limited by the rules of polite society. The child is the child who can just connect with it and speak the truth out of the mouths of babes, right? It comes out, and it is right because there is a connection to that wisdom, and we call it intuition when you know something without having learned it. The child within you knows stuff, is still in touch with the rest of it. So getting to that place where you are so centered that you can hear the voice of your inner child, that you can speak the words of that deep part of yourself, and don't allow it to come through without filtering it. I think that's more than anything what this card is telling you. And if you're in a situation where you're censoring yourself, or where you're having to be careful about what it is that you say, when in fact, if you get quiet and you get yourself centered, I mean, we use that word, right? Centering your energy. Um, you know stuff. You know stuff, and it's all right for you to express it in loving ways, in that pink heart chakra, emotional, gentle, kind way. The figure itself is third eye purple, which is rather nice, because of course that's the symbol that we use for the knowing that comes to us without us learning or experiencing. So that you are connected to a place of cosmic wisdom is irrefutable, and allowing that to come through you without resistance, without what's the word I want, not, you don't have to be polite about other people's hang-ups. Be the 2.5-year-old who says it because it's true. And yeah, I really believe that's what this is trying to tell you, because maybe you're not aware of how much you know stuff. Your guides want you to know that you absolutely do. Absolutely. And it's very creative. The what would be sky around the head of this figure is very orange in person. I don't know if you can tell through the camera. But orange is from the second chakra. It's that place of creativity and originality and new stuff coming through, right? It's very visceral, right? It's yes, yes, yes. So there's stuff for you to be telling the world, Regina, for us to learn, because it has come through you, and for you to be able to stand in your truth and be Regina and not be anybody else, because it doesn't matter how you try. You are never going to be anybody else. Everyone else is taken. You get to be Regina. So that's your welcome. Welcome, welcome. I hope that makes sense. All right. I like your little shiny hearts that you're posting. Those are cute. I've never found those, or never seen them, or never noticed them, or something. So for those of you who got here late, it isn't late, there is no late, there's only dropping in, but I began the session with a community card. So this deck, the back of the deck is this picture, and the card that came out for the community is that picture on the front. It's called Devotion, and it's about nature spirits. So I do believe that it's about connecting with nature at this time of changing seasons, and figuring out where we are on the spectrum of serving nature, being with nature, recognizing our own role as a part of nature, as well as how we treat it and how we manipulate it and what it is that we're doing. Hello, Liz Schmitz. Would you like me to draw a card for you? Yeah, see, you've got the heart that I know how to get. Regina's got a special sparkly one. It's very cool. I like it. All right. Liz, tell me if you want a card. I'm using Sonia Choquette's deck today for a change of pace. And if there's anybody else here who hasn't spoken up, and I guess maybe Sally, was it Sally Ann? Sally Lou? Sally someone? Maybe she has left. I don't know. There's no Marlouse. Marlouse. Sally Ann. There, yes. She didn't ask for a card. Okay, you would love this. Well, I would love to do this for you. So it's a good thing we're both here. Okay, so for Liz, the deck is called Ask Your Guides. So Liz's guides would tell her Liz's guides would tell her, oh, this is nice. Okay, your creativity guides. Creativity, that is a person and a guitar dancing. There's dancing, there's music, there's painting, there's all of those different creative expressions represented there. And it is your creativity guides who are communicating with you. So I don't know if you are primarily engaged in a creative activity, but certainly your guides are saying that there is a role for this kind of behavior in your life. And maybe that's just as a coping mechanism as we go through these strange and wonderful times, that getting a guitar and sitting in the corner learning chords might be a great way for you to relax. Or it may be that you're already making beautiful canvases in your studio with your oil paints, and you're being encouraged to share that with the world. Why do you say wow, Liz? I want to know. I want to know. Like your creativity guides. We've got again purple, which is very third eye. Not every card has purple in it, but we're seeing a lot of third eye stuff. So that you would be channeling creative energy through you and into the world is in numerology. Number 3 is labeled the creativity number, and it's very often about being the portal where new ideas, new concepts, new paintings, new manuscripts can come into the world from the unseen, and you get to be, while that energy is with you, you get to be the hollow reed, or the portal, or the channel through which it comes, and the rest of the world can benefit. So I cannot say. There's butterflies, there's musical notes. Um, I don't know. Oh, there's a number on this. I didn't realize there were numbers on these. Well, for pity's sake, I would have been doing numbers all along. Number on this is 37, so that's 3 is the number of creativity. 7 is the teacher. It's the place where you would learn through your creative activities, and you would teach or could teach. And they add together to 10, which is the 1, which is your central identity, and that individuality that you would express, where your guitar playing would not be like anybody else's guitar playing. Oh, now I'm all excited. I had no idea there were numbers on these. So the intuition card, whoever had that, it's number 42. So there's practicality and relationship. So being in a place of structure, and having the relationship, so being centralized in your body and relating with that energy, that intuition, that inner child voice, whatever. And they're coming together as a 6, which is the number of humanitarian service. It's the number of beauty. It's the number of improving the world on your way through. So whatever it is that you get to stand, was that Regina? When you stand and speak your truth, that is going to be a benefit for everyone. Okay, this was Marcel. I can't tell the difference between the 1s and the 4s. They're strange. Okay, so it's 51. So it's change, adaptation, expansion in the 5. It's the 1, which is you, the integral you, and they're coming together in a 6, which, as I just said, is about improving the world, about beauty and service. and being in that lovely humanitarian energy, which of course, as you lead, you're leading your community, you're making all things better. Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't know this. Imagination, who got this? Dancing with their lovely green heart energy. And it is number 7, it's the teacher. So that inner child imagining everything as it could be, teaching us all how to stop filtering, stop playing roles, and stop putting limits on ourselves. This was Kathleen, because I recognized the big yellow arrow. 38. So 3 is that portal where you're bringing new stuff from the unseen into the seen. 8 is that place of flow, that never-ending lemniscate that we lay it down, and it represents infinity in mathematics. So being in a place where your creativity is flowing, and then we add the 3 and the 8, we get an 11, which is a master number. It's beautiful energy, it's very intuitive, which you do. I know you and I said that, I think that you follow your heart, you follow your knowing, you go and forge ahead in the energy that and of course the 2 ones add up to a 2, which is a relationship, which is what you do as you deal with people and you manage staff and you do all the things that you do. That is so cool. I have number 16, the guardian angel Michael. I have no idea who that was for. I don't know if I even remember reading it. Michael is a very protective energy, and it's number 16. So we've got another number 7, the one, the self, the service, and the teaching that comes from that. Hello, Palak. Absolutely, I will read for you. Yes, yes. Okay. So I will now include the numbers when I read, because that would be the right thing, wouldn't it? Okay. So here we go. So Palak. Oh, how lovely. All right. We have the life force, and it's showing as Aphrodite, who was one of the Greek goddesses of love and the expression of love through physical relationships. It's number 45. So we have the 4, which is about very practical. They're both physical numbers. They're numbers that live on the physical plane. 4 is very structured and stable and strong. And 5 is the number of growth and expansion. And they're coming together in a very holistic 9, which is an inclusive, connected energy kind of a number. We're seeing here somebody dancing in a fire, or yeah. So a very can you see that? There are flames. There's a figure in the background. There's a big heart, a symbolic heart. All in a very sort of a pink background, which is heart chakra, which is very emotional and lovely. We're surrounded and framed, and the individual that is up front dancing in the purple, where third eye, that intuitive knowing, the spiritual energy flowing through. And then these lovely flames in orange and yellow, which are the second and third chakras, where our identity is seated and our creativity is seated. So the life force expresses through our physical bodies. It is through our physical selves that we are able to do whatever it is that we do, whether that's in terms of having physical relationships with other people, with where our bodies become the mode of expression, or whether it's using our body to do something physical like dancing or painting that allows an expression and a way of love that comes through, and all of it life force. When we're not in a human body, we can't do human body things. So the force that is us, that was us before we were born and will be us after we transition, has a chance to use this time of the human experience, the physical body, to do all the things we can do. And if that means I part of me wants to interpret those flames as the firewalking experience that we see in some spiritual traditions of walking on the embers of a fire, and being in sufficiently in the spiritual realm to allow you to allow the individual to transcend the limits of the physical. And maybe that's part of what you're looking at the moment. I don't know, but I hope that makes sense for you, Palak. Number 45, very, very much a physical number. I'm going to have to look at these cards again because I haven't used them for a long time. Obviously, didn't know there were numbers on them. That's pretty sad. Okay, has anybody else come in? Is anybody lurking who would like to show themselves? If you're watching on the video, thank you. You might be on Facebook. I know they store them for a while, or you might be on YouTube. And whichever one you're on, be aware that the other one exists. Always happy to see new people and new subscribers on all of them. If you like and if you're on Facebook, like and follow this page. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, pretty please. And there is more content going to be going onto YouTube soon, but I have been waylaid with some other stuff. Also, would love to see you over at my website, which is joleith.com. And I do have over there is a free newsletter you can sign up for very easily. I think it's pretty much a one touch and enter your email. And also I have on sale, of course, over there, my card deck, The Wisdom of the Garden Path, which is, if you've been here before on a Friday, it's the one I've been reading with for a while. And this week I just thought we could use a change of pace. A lot of changes going on. A lot of because of the seasonal changes and of course the changes. It's September in Canada. That's the time when children are going back to school. So we're seeing huge changes in our schools as they adapt to how they're going to keep the staff and the children safe, and yeah, change, transition, putting down new sets of rules, new systems, new ways of being and relating and teaching and learning, and there's a great deal of that going on. So I guess the change energy just came and got me and suggested a different card deck today. All right. So Palak, the last post I'm seeing, I know sometimes there are delays on here, but also I think sometimes it sort of sticks. The last post that I can see was when Palak arrived. And if you're here and you're waiting, then I apologize. It will show up eventually, no doubt. What else can I tell you? Oh, I've got stuff going on. I'm doing on Zoom. I'm doing meditations on Tuesdays At the moment also at 2 o'clock, but that might change. I might back that up to like a 10 in the morning Eastern. We'll see how that goes. Not so much meditations, guided visualizations. So they're just sort of a 30-minute event, and they can be very, very uplifting and refreshing. So come on by for that. In order to come on by for that, you need, what do you need? You need the Zoom link. So probably DM me if you're on my newsletter list. That link did go out. But if you're not, then drop me a message in here. And if you're watching on YouTube and it's 2024, I'm sorry, that's over. That's just how it goes. Okay, so anybody else lurking? What time are we at? We're at, oh, we've got lots of time. Lots and lots of time. So, do I have to sit here and talk to myself? That always feels so sad. Because I know there's lots of people who would love to have their cards read and they didn't get the link in time. Which is a pity. What else can we be doing? The energy this month, September of 2020. Like any September, we're amplifying the numbers for the year. So where 2020 has been about putting down new foundations, September is also about finishing off some of the old systems, and including even realizing that some of the new things we put down weren't going to work and we need to put new things. So some adaptation and some necessary innovation, and a real need to be conscious of how we want to move forward in order to create the beginnings that are going to serve us down the road. I think most people now have moved past the idea that this is temporary and that we can just cobble something together because it'll only be a few weeks. And they're understanding now that we're talking about building for a much longer timeline. So this month there's a shift in comprehension and in perception and in how we're looking forward. It's very, very important that we all get engaged with that to make sure that the people in charge are paying attention to the priorities that we have as individuals and as communities and as families and as parents and wherever our focus is placed. Not everybody has the same focus. I don't know if you're still here, Liz, but I'm so fascinated by your wow. Would so love to hear from you about what made you go wow. I love it when people go wow. It's a good thing, I think. All right. What else is going on in the numbers? Not a big Lois today. Today is, today's the 4th. So today is a cipher day, actually. Things we start today are that's very interesting that I chose a 4-day in this 4-year to do something different in terms of reading. A reminder that there is repeating energy from parallel lives and other such concepts, probably don't need to be here right now. What else? What else? Am I going to sit and talk to myself? Is there anybody out there? And a couple of people told me they were going to join. Kathleen told me, and she's been here. There was somebody else who said they were going to come by. So far, I haven't seen. Very interesting. I will tell you, oh dear, I don't know where my calendar is. This month, oh, here it is, underneath. On the 24th, Thursday the 24th, I'm going to be doing a virtual visit to Green Spirit in Manatik. So Caroline, who is a delight, who is the owner and manager and operator at Green Spirit, is taking calls and arranging appointments, and I'm going to get a chance to, back last year, in the olden days, I was in Manatik, and I met some of her clients, and I did readings there, and it was a delight. Lovely energy. It's a great place. She still has her storefront. She's doing in-person shopping, as far as I know, as well as online shopping. And I don't know if she has readers going in or not, but I'm going to be there as as a virtual reader. So if you're interested in making an appointment and that's the day you want to do it, then just on my website, I have the link to her in the events, on the events tab. And you can Google Green Spirit Manatik and you will find it for sure. You can deal with Caroline. It would be awesome, anybody who wishes to. I am, of course, available other times for individual readings. I am, Tuesday meditations. Friday, I'm continuing the Fridays. I said back in March I was going to do every Friday until the lock-in was over. Maybe I'll be here the rest of my life. That's all right. I also have some classes going on for patrons on Patreon. I'm doing in September. I'm doing a series of breathing for adult beginners. There's I think it's 4 sessions altogether. They're just 20-minute sessions with some breathing exercises for relaxation, for energizing, for focus. Different things for different times. So if you go to Patreon, from my website there is a link that says become a patron, or you can I'm sure if you get into Patreon, there must be a function where you can search my name and find me. I would think that would be lovely. I do appreciate patrons on so many levels, and there is a fair amount of exclusive content being developed right now for the patrons on Patreon. So that's exciting. I have lots going on, really. Also, I have, and you can access. I've joined a writers collective for a digital magazine called A Beautiful Life. The Beautiful Life. Oh dear. Again, it's on my website. You can connect. And that's a group of people writing happy things. Happy and hopeful and connected and appreciative and very much sort of the good news, positive energy, being with the upside. There's enough of the other news everywhere. Beautiful Life magazine is a place to just connect and feel good with the many, many things that are going right and the many different ways that we can connect. There are different practitioners from different fields with all sorts of stuff. So that is another place. Also, of course, on my website, there are blogs going back to 2012, quite a few of them. So if there's any particular topic that you're interested in, they're really well indexed. You can do a search, hooray for software, and that's a resource that is very useful for some people. If you're on there are no the website is open to everybody. You don't need a membership. You don't need to subscribe to the newsletter. I wish you would, but if you don't, that's all right. You can still wander through the blogs and do whatever research into my work you choose. All right, Polak was still the last person who is showing in my feed. And I'm at that magic moment where I tell the people on the video that I have no idea whether they should. I guess you can fast forward if you're on the video. That's something. I should have a sign that yeah, hold up the cards and say we are. Oh, nice one. Victory! Our divine helpers are with us. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so you can fast forward, except it doesn't fast forward. It's not like the old time, like VHS tapes where you saw everything, but you saw it in quick motion. So if you could do that, that would be different, wouldn't it? Okay, no change. Let me check. No change. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 readings. That was a very, very gentle day for me today. And I am going to stay on till the hour is up, because I do. That's what I do. What else can I talk about? When I go off the air, when I stop being live talking, I will think of 6 things that I could have talked about, but right at the minute, there's not a lot coming top of mind. I'm really, really in a space of feeling as though I've said it all, and I haven't. I'm sure I have. Oh, you know what else I'm working on? Can we see this? I don't know if we can. There is a, yeah, that's not it. There is a system where there are many systems where the labyrinth and the number grid intersect. Don't know if you can see. Actually, I'm wearing that on my shirt right now. Whoops. I have that, and it's the number grid combined with a 3-circuit Cretan labyrinth, and it makes there's a fascinating way to read to input a birth date and create a chart. I call it a number path or an intention path, and I'm doing a lot of work on writing down how it works and how it gets interpreted. It's a lot of fun, and I do enjoy doing that. I was gifted that the knowledge of that intersection back in 2013 when I had a spiritual download, and that came in the next day, I think. It's a fascinating experience. And that is at the root of some of the guided visualizations that are happening on Tuesdays, and some of the other stuff that is going on in general. So that is a thing. What else? What else can I talk about? I did not come prepared for quite this much monologue. Didn't. I have been working somewhat with the labyrinth this last little while. My certifying association, the Veriditas, it's not an association, what is it called? Veriditas.org, I guess, through whom I am a certified facilitator. They have been doing some workshops and some events during this summer, when of course they can't do what they would normally do, which is gather people all together. So we do have weekly sessions where we meet, and also some special seminars and events. So I went to a couple of those. One of them being where the labyrinth and soul collage meet. And if you don't know soul collage, that is quite an interesting. It's new to me this summer. I think it was June I found out about it, and I've been doing some making cards and working with that modality. If you look it up, it's soul collage, all one word, and a registered trademark mark, because I guess there are lots of variations, and there's like soul cards and collage cards and whatever. Anyway, the one I'm doing is soul collage, as founded by Sina Frost. And that's quite fascinating. And it was one of Sina's students, a woman called Catherine Anderson, who hosted, along with the Reverend Dr. Laura Natras at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco, they hosted a workshop around, or an information session more than a workshop, around soul collage and the labyrinth, and that was fascinating. Definitely altered the way I look at my practice, so that's very cool. I am having a lot of opportunity for growth and learning during this time of not going out in the world very much, and I have to say I'm rather enjoying it. What can I tell you? The technology that I'm using now, and the many variations of it, are serving me in a great many ways. All right, so I'm seeing 258. I cannot imagine that anybody who's out there who has been listening to me rabbit on all this time, this is your absolute last chance for a card. Oh, and the card that flipped as I say that, I don't know if it's a community card or it's just for people who hang in there. Maybe. It's very close to red. I think it's as close as this deck gets to red. So root chakra, new life, the Divine Mother. So the Divine Feminine, that energy that connects us with our physical human experience. That's rather lovely. The human infant and lots of plant life in bud. And I think in a lot of ways that kind of speaks to where we're at right now in terms of life is not going to ever be like life used to be. We're in a new time, we're in a new phase, we're in a new stage of development, and a time of adjusting and adapting ourselves to a new society. The number on it is 48. So the practical structure with the flow from the seen to the unseen, adding together to a 3. They add up to 12. The 1 and the 2 is 3, which is creative, is that that channel from the unseen into the seen. That's really kind of a great place to end, isn't it? That the divine feminine is going to be with us and uphold us and surround us with love as we cope with this new way of being in the human experience. I really like that. So I'm done. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for watching the video. And I'll be back next Friday, 2 o'clock, same bat time, same bat channel. See you then. In the meantime, have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay home if you can. Bye-bye.